Hey everyone, this is Chad Morris, and I'm finally back on the guitar after taking almost a full year off to write some piano compositions. So I decided I wanted to make a video on how to solo over giant steps, since I promised it in my last modal mapping video. So if you don't know, John Coltrane's Giant Steps is one of the most challenging standards possibly ever written in the jazz canon. There's no other song form that really exposes you quite like this thing. Like if you get off track, it's extremely unforgiving, and it's selfish, and it will surely leave you behind in an instant. But it's also very genius, and it's also quite infinite. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to confidently master this entire song form using only 3 modes. But before we get started, there are some prerequisites to this technique. You need a strong grasp of all the 7 Greek modes on at least the 5th and 6th strings, the A and the E strings. But it helps to know the modes across the entire length of the fretboard. Number 2 is you will need to have internalized your lick repertoire, which simply means you just know what you want to play, and most of your lick bag has been memorized. But that's it. That's all you need. With this technique, I've coined modal mapping, and I've made 2 videos on it if you want to check it out. You simply grab a mode that is nested within a particular chord quality. When the chord changes, you simply grab the closest related mode associated with or nested within this new key. So let's look at how this works over the song form. The tune opens with B major, D7, G major, B flat 7th, E flat major. So for B major, I chose to facilitate this chord with the A flat Aeolian mode because of 2 reasons. First, A flat Aeolian is nested within the quality of B major. It's the 6th scale degree of that key and can also be referred to as the natural minor. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly, A flat Aeolian is only a half step away from the destination key center of G major, where we're going to be ending up. Given by the next chord D7 to G major, which can be facilitated by G Ionian. I want to stress that the tonality of the mode is not what we're after here. If we exploit the mode's tonality, in other words, what gives it its character, we will not sound precise. We're only using the mode's shape to establish a framework to pick out appropriate intervals that define the tonality of the target chords in the form. And this is why I've highlighted my favorite intervals for doing this with the red dots. So continuing on, next is B flat 7 to E flat major. Both chords can be facilitated by using C Aeolian as a framework. C Aeolian is the 6th scale degree of E flat major, which is our destination chord. And B flat 7th is the natural dominant of E flat major, so it belongs to it naturally. For A minor to D7, we just simply go back to G Ionian. It's a 2-5-1 in G, and that satisfies those chords. And yet, we've been through a few chords and we haven't even really moved our hand position much at all. For the second section of the form, starting with G major 7th, B flat 7, E flat major, we'll use G Ionian once again, and then quickly settle on C Aeolian again, which satisfies B flat 7 to E flat major 7. For F sharp 7 to B major, once again, we'll go back to A flat Aeolian to satisfy those chords. Finally, for F minor, B flat 7, E flat major, we go back to C Aeolian. Again, using the framework of C Aeolian to pick out the target tones that represent that E flat major sound. We're still only using 3 modes here, and we're almost done with the form. So for the last section, we left off on E flat major, facilitated by C Aeolian. But then for the 2-5-1 and G, back to G Ionian. It's simple. For the C sharp minor, F sharp 7, B major complex, we're going to go back to that the trusty A flat Aeolian modal frame. Again, picking out desirable target tones for our chord quality here. A rule of thumb is you can't go wrong with root, third, fifth, and seventh. Now for F minor, B flat 7, E flat major, again, we go back to our C Aeolian. But then quickly back to A flat Aeolian again to satisfy the last 2 chords of the form, C sharp minor to F sharp 7th. And we're done. That's it. We use 3 modes, and we have precisely satisfied every single chord in this complex form using only 3 modes. An additional feature to this modal map is that it automatically connects your playing from change to change, providing a built-in fluidity to your playing because you're not jumping around a lot with melodic leaps, which is how you can easily disconnect your playing from the form. So here's an example of the map at work. So again, I like to stress that the main purpose of this map is to just provide a framework for you to latch onto and pick out target tones of each passing chord. So let's map yet another position further down the fretboard, again using only 3 modes. For our starting chord of B major, we're going to be using B Ionian. Pretty standard, right? For D7 to G major, we're going to use E Aeolian this time. And this satisfies these chords. Why? Again, D7 is a natural dominant of G major, and E Aeolian is the 6th scale degree of G major. So it's also naturally nested within this key center. Next, for B flat 7 to E flat major, we're going to use C Aeolian again, like we did in the first map, but we're going to start on the 6th string, 8th fret. And next is the 2-5-1 in G major, given by A minor to D7. And here we'll go ahead and grab the E Aeolian mode and then settle down into G major. And for the B flat 7 to E flat major, we'll switch quickly back to that C Aeolian frame, and then prepare for the next chords F sharp 7 to B major, in which we'll go back to the B Ionian frame. Again, connecting your ideas should be seamless here because we aren't really moving our hand position much at all. Next is the complex of F minor to B flat 7 to E flat major, all accommodated by 1 mode, C Aeolian. And then we get a similar complex with A minor, D7, G major, also all accommodated by 1 modal frame, and that's E Aeolian. And then again, we get another similar complex with C sharp minor, F sharp 7, B major, which can be facilitated by B Ionian, which is very standard anyway. For F minor, B flat 7, E flat major, we go back to C Aeolian. But for this particular position on the fretboard, I actually like to think of it as B flat mixolydian, which is the natural dominant of the key center, E flat major. Thinking along B flat mixo, it lends your ideas off to the last two chords, C sharp minor and F sharp 7, seamlessly, in which we'll just use B Ionian. So you're just, moving up a half step. Again, you achieve a built-in improvisational fluidity by treating these last few chords in this way. Again, I'd like to stress that we're not after the mode's tonality. If we express the true tonality of each of these three modes, we wouldn't be playing precisely. I mean, the notes wouldn't be wrong, technically. They'd just be imprecise and unfocused. We're simply using the mode structure, which holds all of the necessary intervals needed to express the target tones of each passing chord. So let's hear an example of this map 2 at work in this second position. So in conclusion, once you have this down, the hard part is no longer the form. You've successfully reduced this complex chord progression into its constituent elements. As long as you stick to these modal frames, playing a glaringly wrong note is actually impossible. So again, the hard part is not the song form here. The hard part is coming up with new ideas, developing those ideas, coming up with tricks and jokes and, just playing jazz. And that's how it should be anyway. So hopefully this idea will free up your playing a little bit and allow you to express yourself over one of the greatest jazz compositions of all time. This has been Chad Morris, and thanks for watching. Thank you.